What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Danny DeBrito podcast. Today, we're going to talk about greatness, and not in the sense of how does one become great. We're going to talk more about how greatness is reinforced by your daily actions and how nobody actually really should be pursuing greatness as this ethereal kind of mystical word that is not really that achievable. And I've studied many of the greats. I've studied greatness in all different capacities, reading biographies of Albert Einstein to Andrew Carnegie to John D. Rockefeller to Alexander von Humboldt to Steve Jobs and many more. And I've tried to connect the dots between some things that these great people are doing. What are their patterns? What are their habits? What systems are they using to achieve great heights in their respective fields? And what I noticed after reading up on many of these gentlemen and studying their lives is that none of them were actually pursuing greatness per se. I mean, some figures in history, mainly athletes, I found do have that idea in their head of greatness. I'm pursuing greatness. You know, Muhammad Ali was after being the greatest of all time. Kobe Bryant was clearly after becoming one of the greatest of all times, of all time. But in most fields, greatness is not something that you can just objectively assign a label to. You can't objectively say, oh, I've won 5 championships in this field. I am the greatest of all time. And most of the work that we do and the work that we're all going to be kind of working through to discover our true selves is not necessarily reliant on statistics. It is reliant on pursuing something that is true to us, that means something to us, and that lights a fire within us. And so what I've found after observing and reading up on many of the greats in history is that greatness is a byproduct of a purpose-driven life. Okay? Greatness is not something that we can point to in the sky and go after. I know we all want to be great and we want to do great things, but it really stems down to, are we operating with purpose? Are we assigning significance to our daily actions that align with a greater purpose in our lives? And I've talked about this before, but in everything that we do on a day-to-day basis, even the monotonous things, we can assign a greater level of significance to, whether that's making a latte if you're a barista, or crunching some numbers in a spreadsheet if you're an accountant, or even just helping your client in the smallest of ways. Each of those things actually connects to our greater purpose. And they're teaching us lessons, you know, whether that's how to interact with people on a human to human level, whether that's how to read through the lines and understand what somebody really wants when it's not exactly being spoken or put into words. All of these things are skills and abilities that you are cultivating every single day. And if you look at these things as significant, because they truly are, you know, each and every day there are lessons out there to be learned. There are things that we can glean, that we can take away from the smallest of our daily actions. And that's truly what it's all about. It's about operating with intention and with purpose, and ultimately connecting the dots between all those small, seemingly insignificant daily actions to align with a greater purpose in our life. And so going back to what I talked about with what I understood from learning about these people, from the greats in our history, they all were operating with purpose every single day. They had something that they knew inside, deep inside of them, was their calling, was something that was pushing them towards new heights. And they didn't necessarily do that because they wanted to be great or they wanted to achieve greatness. They were following their drive. They were following that burning fire inside of them to go after what they really wanted. And greatness just happened to become of that because they were operating with purpose every single day. Every single day they were doing things with intention, with focus, and they knew that they were headed in that right direction, but they didn't assign the label of greatness to it because, frankly, that is far too much pressure. We don't want to put that pressure on ourselves. We don't want to paralyze ourselves by saying, oh, I need to be great. I need to be the greatest. What you really want to do is look at your daily actions, assign significance to them, and be shooting towards that ultimate goal that you have for yourself. And of course, you do need to do the internal work, the self-discovery to understand what you are passionate about, what really gives you purpose in life. That is important. That is kind of a baseline of all of this. You can't assume to just operate on autopilot and go through the monotonous actions of daily life and all of a sudden you're going to feel stoked on it. You really have to do that self-discovery, audit yourself, and understand where exactly you want to guide your life. But then after that point, all those daily actions, everything that you have that you see as boring or as useless or things that really drag you down, you can elevate those and do those things more intentionally and with more purpose to give your life a entirely new meaning. And I want to read a quote to you guys that really represents this well. It's by Marcus Aurelius. Great man, definitely achieved greatness, but he was never one to actually pursue greatness. He was all about self-discovery and doing the internal work to discover where exactly you're headed and how you can best improve yourself to improve the lives of others around you. So it goes like this. A man's true greatness lies in the consciousness of an honest purpose in life, founded on a just estimate of himself and everything else, on frequent self-examinations and a steady obedience to the rule which he knows to be right, without troubling himself about what others may think, say, or do. So he hits this right on the head, and this is actually completely in line with what I observed after reading biographies and synopses of these people's lives. He's talking about your true greatness lies in your purpose in life, an honest purpose. It doesn't have to be some lofty goal that is virtually impossible to achieve because, as I said before, that is going to cripple you. You're going to be stuck analyzing how you can reach somebody who's at the very, very top or reach something that is so far above you. Whereas you can find greatness in executing and achieving an honest purpose in life. That is really noble. That is a noble cause. It doesn't have to be something that's out of the ordinary, or you don't have to try and become the greatest of all time in whatever you're doing. And you can achieve greatness in the small little details and executing those every single day in life. And then the other thing that Aurelius said here was not troubling himself about what others may think, say, or do. And I think that's also incredibly crucial to, look outward and see what other people are doing in your field and try to understand how you can learn from them, but not be too troubled on their specific journey. If the person next to you gets that promotion and you're wondering why they were chosen over you, do a little self-reflection and understand their habits and their actions that may have led to that. But then beyond that, don't compare and contrast their life and your life. They have infinitely different pathways that they've taken. They have different relationships. They have an entirely different foundation of skills that you can't ever hope to replicate. And so you really will benefit from looking inward and focusing solely on your journey, executing those small daily actions to reach an honest purpose in life, like Aurelius said, and not getting too caught up in the politics or comparing your life with other people's lives. It's not going to serve you, and if anything, it's going to inhibit you from reaching those heights and reaching that level of greatness that you're looking for.